When was the last time you struggled to remember what you had decided on a particular issue? With all the decisions leaders make these days, it's easy to forget your reasoning from even a couple of days ago. Watch this short video on how I've learned to organize and my past decisions so that they're easily accessible when I need to take a look back. I'm Bob Wendover. I started a rather large project a few months ago. It's got lots of elements and moving parts, and I sat down at the very beginning and outlined the steps. I considered the pros and the cons of the various ways to approach the project. I researched the vendors I would need to make comparisons. I wrote down my reasoning for each of those choices. And I also dated each one of these pages so that I can see the evolution of my thinking on various issues. And I've kept all of those notes. In fact, here they are, okay? As I work through the various steps, I sometimes come to a point where I don't remember what I had decided or what the options were. And then I can go back and I can kind of rifle through all these pages of handwritten notes to find out. I have found that writing all of this down rather than typing it into a Word document has two benefits. First, it's always faster to jot something down on a pad of paper than it is to wake up your device, open the app, and start typing. Second, there's no need to really organize. I learned a long time ago that it's better to have one thick folder than a bunch of folders indexed by categories I can't seem to remember. Sure, it takes a few extra steps to maybe flip through some pages, but if you dated them, you have a chronology to work from right away. So, why do I share all of this? Seems like common sense, right? But in this crazy and distracting world, do you have the focus and discipline to make sure you're recording your decisions in a way that you can reference at a later time? I have colleagues who write in a diary. I've interviewed leaders who maintain a series of yellow pads, each one on a different topic or area of responsibility. I've seen others who do the same thing in a series of notebooks like these notebooks. As a leader, what process do you follow to ensure you're not reinventing wheels or maybe spending time reconsidering options because you don't remember what your reasoning was when you first spent a bunch of time on it? Can you change your mind after having consulted what you decided before? Sure, absolutely. But maintaining a record of decisions and reasoning as you work through on various projects prevents you from ending up in a maddening circle of researching all over again what you had researched before. Now, these notes will also help those around you. Have you ever worked for someone who keeps changing directions in midstream? I certainly have. On Monday we're going this direction. On a Thursday we're gonna reverse course. They never say it, but that's what it looks like. If you survey people in the workplace, you'll find that one of their biggest complaints is leadership inconsistency. And this turns into wasted time and energy and of course an erosion of trust over time. Besides, do you really want to be the person who says to the boss, excuse me, but a few days ago you told us we were doing something totally different? I certainly don't want to be that person. You certainly don't want to be that person. Nobody does. Sure, we may be right, but it still embarrasses the boss. So most people just kind of go along with following the new direction, whatever it is, and squandering the organization's time and energy. After all, they're still getting paid, right? Now, I know that sounds kind of cynical, but it's awfully close to the truth in an awful lot of cases. Truth be told, it takes a confident leader to admit inconsistencies, and I sadly don't know too many really confident bosses these days. Do you? So if you're the leader, it's up to you to provide the clear directions and stick with them. Recording your decisions helps remind you of your reasoning, especially when some bright, shiny object comes along and you start questioning your direction or your wisdom. More than once, I've been tempted to change horses because the person with the new idea is just so persuasive. Chances are you have too. But as a leader, I can't afford to let that happen. It costs time, it usually costs money, and over time it begins to cost you credibility. So, once again, what method do you use to record your reasoning and decisions? Put those ideas in the comments below. We'd all like to know and share. I'm Bob Wendover.